Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky lawmakers advanced a bill yesterday that would protect healthcare workers from criminal charges while on the job. And an organization from Eastern Kentucky wants every home to be energy efficient during winter weather like last month.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:31 on February 1st. Now let's send it over to meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast this morning.
Hi, Olivia. We are looking at a mostly clear sky in most areas. We'll see what few clouds are still hanging up gradually move out. Wise area looking at 30 degrees and the sky mostly clear here. Most temperatures are pretty close to 30, at least in the upper 20s on the cool side, and on the warmer side as you look towards Pikeville and Prestonsburg, Ashland. It's in the mid-30s. Moorhead, same thing for you. Even Louisville is warm as 37 at this hour. It is quiet on the satellite, quiet on the radar. You'll notice just a few clouds from yesterday lingering but gradually pulling out, kind of hanging closer to Charleston and right near the West Virginia line along 64 and I-77. They will move away, and as we look back to the west, there is plenty of sunshine, and that's the air we will be in throughout the day today. Warming from the 30s this morning into the 50s for this afternoon. A look at the weekend outlook and into next week coming up, Olivia.
All right, Mace, thank you. Nurses and other healthcare workers would not have to worry about criminal charges for mistakes on the job if a bill passes the General Assembly. Kentucky lawmakers in the House Judiciary Committee advanced the healthcare worker immunity bill yesterday morning. As WYMT's Phil Pendleton explains, healthcare workers could still face civil consequences for their actions.
Representative Jason Nemeth says he's heard about nurses in other states facing criminal charges, all because of mistakes made on the job.
So we want to make sure in Kentucky that we codify, put into statute that a nurse or any healthcare provider will not be won't be charged criminally for a mistake that they've made.
It would include such things as accidentally giving a patient the wrong medicine, but it does still leave the door open for civil or other consequences to negligence.
If people make mistakes, where they've been reckless, or people make intentional engage in intentional misconduct, surely they should be criminally culpable, and this bill doesn't change that in any way.
This bill easily passed with 18 yes votes and 2 lawmakers who chose to pass. One of them not voting was Representative Lindsey Burke of Lexington, who had a question about abortion procedure coverage.
Would this bill provide any coverage for a doctor who was acting in that limited capacity where the mother's life was at stake to protect the doctor from any criminal liability?
Burke was told no because the bill addresses process-type errors and not treatment calls.
Kentucky law allows, obviously, for a procedure to save the life of the mother or for serious health consequence. This doesn't affect that in any way.
Another lawmaker passed on voting because he wants assurance doctors and nurses will not be liable for directives coming from administrators or outside the healthcare setting. Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The bill is set to go on to the House floor on February 8th, which is recognized as Nurses Day. In the midst of child care funding issues across the Commonwealth, one central Kentucky school system is offering low-cost child care for each of its employees. This is an issue Clark County Public Schools has worked to alleviate for its employees. The school's Chief Operations Officer, Brandon Watkins, says the Cardinal's Nest opened January 1st of this year. It's a low-cost child care facility for CCPS employees.
Had several teachers say this is a huge help to them. It's a reason that they want to stay in Clark County and continue to work for our school system.
Those with Clark County Public Schools say not only will this move give peace of mind to employees with young kids, but they hope it may inspire those kids who have been within the school system for the majority of their lives to come back as employees. New studies show more parents may be turning to melatonin to get their children to sleep each night. A study from JAMA Pediatrics says about 20% of school-aged children take melatonin regularly. Assistant Professor of Pediatrics Angela Houchin says a lot of it has to do with children having poor sleep hygiene.
A lot of times the reason that kids can't fall asleep is they've been on screens the whole evening. And screens emit blue light, which prevents our bodies from releasing melatonin that we naturally make.
She says there would not be a need for melatonin if parents force kids to stick to a consistent sleep schedule. There is a new effort to legalize recreational marijuana across the Commonwealth. House Bill 420 was filed this week by Democrats Kiera Heron of Louisville and Rachel Roberts of Newport. It would allow Kentuckians 21 and older to use, purchase, possess, and consume cannabis. The bill would prohibit employees from discriminating against employees who use cannabis legally outside of working hours, so long as the worker's performance isn't impacted by marijuana use. A southeastern Kentucky man is behind bars after police executed a search warrant. Officers with Corbin and Barberville PD went to a home in the Woodbine community of Knox County Tuesday. Officers seized several ounces of suspected meth along with heroin, fentanyl, firearms, and cash. 30-year-old Harrison Hoskins was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. A Boyd County man is behind bars after police found drugs on him during a traffic stop in Wayne County, West Virginia. Officials with the sheriff's office recovered a distribution quantity of meth, which was in the possession of Raymond Mills of Calittsburg. Mills was charged with possession with intent to deliver methamphetamine. A London man is behind bars after police say he tried to resist arrest. The arrest happened Tuesday about 8 miles from London. Deputies with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office were investigating a stolen vehicle case when they came across 24-year-old Anthony Taylor. Deputies learned he had an outstanding warrant. Taylor faces multiple charges and was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Laurel County man is behind bars after police say he stole a welder from someone's truck in a hotel in Somerset. After deputies with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office were tipped off about the incident, they went to a home in Somerset to ask about where the man lived. Deputies later found and asked 24-year-old Eddie Ray Tencher about the welder, and he later admitted to the theft. He was taken to the Pulaski County Detention Center. The recent Kentucky power rate increase and below freezing temperatures have made having an energy efficient home beneficial to folks in the mountains. As I'm about to explain, one organization in eastern Kentucky is doing its part to add efficiency to every home it builds and beyond. The Housing Development Alliance has helped thousands of low-income families and flood survivors become new homeowners or make home repairs. But as Executive Director Scott McReynolds explains, one key component is energy efficiency.
Maybe you can afford your house, but if your power bill is so high you can't afford it, then you really can't afford your house. So we've always focused on energy efficiency, and it's just really critical to the long-term sustainability of home ownership.
He says the HDA staff focuses on the thermal envelope of each home they repair or build, saying it is critical to ensure the home is as airtight as possible and that the exterior is well insulated.
In addition to using as much insulation as possible, we use a lot of caulk, a lot of glue. We actually frame with 2x6s instead of 2x4s so we can fit a little more insulation. You know, one of the big problems is the chimney effect. If you have even a small hole in your ceiling or a way air can get in, hot air rises, and so when the hot air goes out of your house, it pulls in cold air. So we seal that up so you don't get the chimney effect.
Also adding high-quality windows, HVAC system, and energy-efficient appliances. And McReynolds says they have heard numerous stories about the impact these energy-efficient changes have made on the people they serve.
One of our first flood survivors told me that she feels guilty when she talks to people because her electric bill is so cheap. and she'll be in a conversation and people will be complaining and she doesn't want to say what her electric bill is. It's comfort, but it's also just who couldn't use an extra 50, 60, $100 a month savings?
Helping folks who need it most to stay warm and save money. Aside from building energy-efficient homes, HGA will also add efficiency to homes through its home repair program. You can find more about it on our website, WYMT.com. Dozens of young women are showing off their welding skills. The second Women of Welding competition is happening right now in Louisville. More than 60 students from school districts in Kentucky and southern Indiana are competing in this year's competition. All of the competitors are enrolled in welding programs at their high schools. Tuesday, Kentucky Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman visited the students and checked out the competition.
Well, I love that there are so many young women who are learning a skill that they can use for the rest of their life, a skill that they can use to build a fantastic career and to continue to evolve throughout their adult life. This is something that I would have never had the chance to do when I was in high school, and so to see them take advantage of this opportunity is really neat. The skills they have, the drive that they're showing through this competition is really inspiring, and I wanted to be here to help celebrate them and the work that they're doing today.
Competitors are judged on various projects that show off their welding skills. The competition wraps up on Friday. And when we return, Barbie herself is playing down her Oscar snub, but not her directors.